to become the best. I wouldn't have the best answers, but have the best questions. I am Omar Rajab. I run an AI agency. I'm 13. Long story short, I'm an editing agency. We've got 40 editors, right? And we could not handle that many people. We just tried to go as fast as possible. It collapsed. I got set. I was 12 at the time, so I just said, all right, let's see what else I can do. Central C said it, you cannot rush greatness. You have to build things up. The more you use it, the better it gets. And second of all, AI doesn't sleep. You can get a DM one night, the next morning have a meeting. And it's so easy, especially in 2025. In 2028, that gate's going to be closed. All that easiness is just going to be closed. Two main problems of success, two main problems, killers of success, right? Number one, you are.
Welcome, Omar. For the people who don't know who you are, who are you?
Yeah, so I am Omar Rajab. I run an AI agency. I'm 13. I've been doing business for around 2 years, a year now, around that long. And yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Yeah, you said you run an AI agency. So what is that?
Yeah, so it's called Insane Digital. It's INHSANE Digital, and then .com if you want to go on the website. And what we do is we implement AI solutions for coaching businesses. So we implement AI workflows, AI agents, things of that sort.
I see. So how did you get started? How did you get into that agency?
Yeah, how I got into it. Yeah, just I started off as a clothing brand actually. And when I started my clothing brand, I mainly just started it just because I wanted to wear some of my own clothes. It'll be kind of a crazy flex I thought back then to like have my own brand like when I'm going out, like wearing all my clothes, right? So I started that just for the sake of it. And then later down the line, like I started a editing agency, what you can call drop servicing, where I did like editing, but I didn't do the editing, some other guy did the editing, and I got like a small profit off that. And then after that, I moved on to SMMA. I think everyone knows that marketing agency helping construction companies, things of that sort. And then further down the line, when I got more experience about like what these guys actually want, I went to AI automation to see what I can kind of automate for these businesses.
I see, I see. So when did you get into this AI automation?
AI automation. I've been doing AI automation for around 6, 7 months now.
6, 7 months. All right. So what do you like specifically do for the clients?
Yeah, so like I said, we build AI workflows. Our main goal is to pretty much save them as much time as possible, right? So they only have to work on what they want to work on, right? We usually go for 20 hours plus a week saved, right? And we just use AI agents, AI workflows, things like N8N, Make.com, go high level, right? And we do things, for example, like an onboarding automation, automating the onboarding, automating the sales, doing the marketing, things like that, all with AI just to save them a bunch of time.
Okay, so I'm really interested in the sales part. So like how would you automate that sales process? How would you automate that?
Yeah, so it's a pretty common asked question. Usually, how I would automate the sales part is with an AI chatbot or just the AI agent in general, right? And what I use is something like ChatGPT. I bet you've all heard of that, or a DeepSeek or Claude, right? And before you say like I shouldn't just be using ChatGPT to do work, I don't do that, right? Basically, there's a difference between using ChatGPT, what's the packaged version, and OpenAI, right? And OpenAI's API, which basically just means like it's a brain, right? We use like prompt engineering, so we have a bunch of experience with like actually getting the best results because like a wise man once said, I'm pretty sure, right? He said, if I really wanted to become the best, I wouldn't have the best answers, but have the best questions, right? So we focus a lot on having the best questions, then we use something along the lines of ChatGPT. And obviously, we train it on your company's data, things of that sort. And then we just tell it to help out in the sales process. First few times we look over it. And then once we see it's good enough, we just let it go on its own.
All right, so I don't fully understand the so can you give me like an actual like example of how it would work?
All right. So let's say you're running a fitness coaching business, right? and
hmm
you get some DMs, let's say from your social media posts. So, for example, you talk about like meal plans, and you say, "All right, well, like comment this, comment meal if you want to get a full meal plan, right?" And once they comment on there, we get our AI to see if they've commented, and we'll say, "Hey, was that you?" They always say yes, and then the obviously, like I said, that OpenAI's kind of brain or Claude's brain, right, Anthropic, it will run and it would see what it can do to book them into a call, right? And the beauty of it is the more you use it, first of all, the more you use it, the better it gets. And second of all, AI doesn't sleep, right? Because I imagine if you are doing the closing, things of that sort, you probably have to sleep, you have to eat, right? You're not going to be able to answer sometimes, right? This answers automatically, efficiently, right? Like you can get a DM one night, the next morning have a meeting. That's the beauty of it. It's really quick, it works, and we make sure it works.
Okay, so with the example that you just provided right there, right? Let's say I had a YouTube short and I say, hey, comment AI and I'll send you this specific thing. And let's say someone did comment on it. So your technology is essentially gonna reply to that comment. And is he gonna have like a specific questions that he's gonna be asking, or is he just gonna send them to a specific link? So how would that next step work?
Right. So you said YouTube Shorts, right?
Yeah, let's say for example it was Instagram shorts. Let's say that.
Instagram Reels. All right. So your question is like how would actually book them in a call,
Yeah.
right? So basically, we use services like Calendly. Like most coaches, I assume, like most coaches or even just business owners, they use Calendly to book people into calls, right? And we obviously use that link to book them into the calls. And we just say, like, obviously the ball would just say, like, hey, we can talk more about this on a call. Then I'll just book them into a call. And if they have any doubts, lingering questions, it actually just uses it uses the coaching's service data, like what it actually does, what a coach does, and leverages that to get the best results. It's pretty much just a sales rep, honestly, but it's AI and it doesn't sleep.
Oh, I see. That definitely makes sense. So, how did you even come up with this idea?
How I came up with it. I mean, for me to say, like it just came in my head would be pretty much a lie. But yeah, I came up with it. First of all, like off experience, like I said, right? You see a bunch of, I was working with solar companies at the time, right? And you can see like the biggest problem that I had as an agency, right, was getting them from the sales call, getting them from, for example, a cold call or a cold DM onto the sales call, right? Like the closing part wasn't that hard. It was a sales call. It was a sales call, and it was a sales call part, getting them onto the sales call. Then after the sales call, getting them to sign the contract. Those are two hardest parts. The sales call is the easier part, right? Because it takes a lot of friction, and like you can get it wrong really easily, right? And on a sales call, you can be intentional about it. You can get that wrong really easily. So obviously, something that is perfect, well, pretty much is nearer to perfect, certainly more than humans, is the AI thought, right? And the other day, like before I came up with this specific automation, I was saying, like, hey, look at, like, for example, Liam Otley, right? If you've been in the AI automation space, you've probably seen him, right? If you're around a business owner, I recommend to look at him, even though I have a YouTube channel as well. Liam Otley, I saw him and like he was talking about AI, how to use AI, everything about AI, right? And I was like, yeah, that's cool. So after learning about AI, I was like, all right, so how do I actually do this, right? And actually, it's a crazy coincidence. A few days later, I was on a random meeting call for like some masterminding work, and I came across like my partner Liam. He's like a really, really smart guy. He knows like a bunch about AI, more than I do, right? And he was saying like, yeah, I can help you out on that, right? So he helped me built it out. We tested it, and like it worked really well. And we said, yeah, that's great. And then after that, we just started compounding on more and more like agents and automation, just like that.
Okay, so just to make sure I get the timeline straight, you were essentially struggling, when it came to the, booking the so initially with the construction guys and the solar guys, right? When it came to booking the meetings and signing the contract, you noticed that there were a lot of friction and you were essentially trying to find a way to free up your time, and then you came across this guy called Ian. Is that his name? Ian?
Liam
Liam,
Walton.
Liam, Liam, Liam. Okay. So you started seeing like a bit of his content, and then you joined this mastermind, and that was how you were able to connect with Liam, right?
Yeah, that guy's called Liam, and my partner's called Liam. They're two different people, but yeah, basically.
I see, I see. So, what was this mastermind, anyways?
Yes, right. So, I was actually in this group. This is actually how I got into agency based in the first place. I was in this group after I quit my editing agency. After like long story short, my editing agency, we got 40 editors, right? And we could not handle that many people. We just tried to go as fast as possible. It collapsed. I got upset. I was 12 at the time, so I just said, all right, let's see what else I can do. So I looked over and I saw SMMA. I saw this guy, Geronimo Ibarra or Celis. You guys probably seen him, the cold calling, 16-year-old cold calling guy. And yep, I just joined his Elevate Academy. I joined it, and one time I was on a call, and after I was in it for a few weeks, we pretty much joined at the exact same time. I joined the Elevate Academy call, and I was chatting with Liam, and yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
So, how did you I guess connect with Geronimo? How did you even connect with him?
Well, I just saw his YouTube video. I was on the YouTube feed. I saw his YouTube video. I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. So I went on it, watched the video, and I was like, all right. And his course was free at the time, right? Well, it wasn't free as a free version and a paid version, right? So it was free at the time. I joined it. I joined the call with him. He said, yeah, that's cool. I will put you into LV Academy. I'll get everything sorted for you. And after a few weeks, I was in it, and it was actually I'm like one thing I'm gonna say, I'm telling you this, right, is most of the good things that happen to you, most of the things that you think will change your life, like not like most of the things that you think will be good for you would not come to you on purpose, right? Like Mark Zuckerberg said, I'm not sure it was Mark Zuckerberg, someone like that, right? Mark Zuckerberg said this, and he said, you cannot find the right person like that. He said something like that, right? And that's completely true. It's just a matter of consistency, right? Like I was doing my editing agency, I was doing my clothing brand since November 2023. I only joined Geronimo's community in September 2024, right? So that is almost a year, right? And that's why you just have to like work blindly and you will eventually just get there. It's not a matter of you cannot be intentional about this stuff. Like it all just comes to you when you least expect it. So yeah, I just got on the course and I can say it pretty much all happened, but then at the same time, since that was like months and months, pretty much a year of just constantly working, trying to see what I could do.
You see, that's really interesting, seriously. So you joined the course around September of 2024, and I'm assuming just a couple weeks later, and that's when you connected with your business partner, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so from the time of connecting with him, how long did it take you to actually I guess build up that agency?
Well, the agency. So we went through a few steps. So after obviously build that workflow, I continued going in that agency, right? And I said like I found like a really crazy idea. It was some sort of I forgot what the idea actually was, to be fair. It was a crazy idea I thought at the time. And I was thinking like, yo, Liam, right? How about like we partner up, have this crazy idea, and like we can use this for these big companies and like they would actually pay us a lot for it. That's what I was thinking at the time, but obviously you cannot just get companies like that. I was much more I wasn't as smart as it was right now, right? But I went over into obviously working with him, right? He said, all right. So we started doing code calls, right? For I think it was the community we had at the time. We just made a bunch of video modules on how to make these automations, right? And over that while, right? Well, just the over that while, we just built it up. We built it up. We got some consulting clients. We consulted them. We got on calls with them. Just build it up until where we are today, right? We didn't take the fast route, right? That's a mistake that we both made because Liam, funnily enough, he also had a clothing brand like ages ago, like before. I know yeah, pretty much the same year as me, just a few months back. I had a clothing brand, and we both kind of try to rush it, right? And obviously, like Central C said, right, you cannot rush greatness. So we took the steps slow by slow. We built up these AI agents. We learned, we failed, so many things, so many steps to actually get to where we are today, where we do have clients, where we are consulting, things like that. Like it takes so much to actually get there, but yeah, that's all we've been pretty much doing.
I see. What were some of the struggles that you faced, during the beginning stages?
All right, there's a lot to it. I would say the biggest struggle would be I'm not sure, right? Because probably the biggest one would just be work ethic, right? But by extension, that is part maybe confidence. You're not being confident in yourself. But I want to establish something, right? Like if you actually want to, the best advice I would give to if you want to build a business or you want to build a good physique, anything honestly, right, is to have like an unshakable confidence in yourself. Have like undisputed confidence in yourself, right? For example, what like back in November 2023, when I was starting my clothing brand, right? Like genuinely, I don't know how to put this into words, but genuinely, when I was writing down like those like designs, right, on my notebook, right, I wasn't thinking, what if it fails? I wasn't thinking, what if it doesn't work? I wasn't thinking, I probably might not work. Uh, Everything in my mind was when can I start posting content to obviously get people to buy it? When can I start telling my friends about this? When can I start putting this on a store? When can I start making a website? Right? It's all about when. It shouldn't be how or if, it should be when. That's the mentality you should be having. Right? And a lot of people, they like to act like they don't know what to do. Right? Especially when it comes to building things like that. Right? But if you do have true conviction in yourself and you truly do believe in yourself and you don't have a doubt with that, right? You do believe in yourself, right? Then you would pretty much have infinite energy, right? And you would always find a reason to work, right? But as I found it, right, after a while of me starting my clothing brand, right, it slowly started to drop off, right? Like I slowly lost interest. Number one, mainly because I kind of got bored of it, right? Like I was pretty stupid, I cannot lie, right? I got really bored of it, or mainly because I wasn't really trying hard enough. And that isn't mainly because I wasn't really confident, wasn't because I didn't really try, I wasn't really working hard enough. I was just working on the wrong things and I was just getting burnt out. I was working on creating a perfect website when I didn't really have any traffic going to the website, right? So yeah, I just after that, right, I moved on. All right, let's just go to the agency, right? And then after the agency, I moved on to where I am now. And basically, all I had to really say, right, is the main struggles that I did face, to be fair, is mainly just work ethic, right? And obviously, you're not perfect all the time, right? And you do have some days where you don't feel like it, and you do have some days where you don't want to do it, right? Like even today, right? I always wake up, right, and I look on what I have to do. I look on my little list, I have a notebook right here, right, and I say, all right, record content, build workflows, right? Could talk to this guy, get a call with this guy, right? Like in every single day, there's like some days I wake up and I say, man, that sucks. Like I just do not want to do it, right? But I feel like it's in these days I don't want to do it. That's where matters the word that matters the most, right? Because as also I think it was Abraham Lincoln who said this, right? If a man only did what he felt like doing all the time, he wouldn't get anywhere, right? And that's just what you have to. That's the price you have to pay to actually get what you want, right? And over time, I learned this. I learned this over experience. I've seen this quote, seen this saying, TikTok, Instagram ages ago, but it takes a while from you actually seeing something and then you actually learning it yourself because it's very easy to just go to social media and say, yeah, I agree with that. Then don't do anything. Right? It's very easy to say that. So probably just I would say work ethic. Confidence wasn't really that much of an issue. I've always really believed in myself. I never doubted myself. And then another one I get is my age and what people think of me. Right. And the third thing about that is like if like when I become really successful, like when like my agency goes really big, right? Like I'm not gonna sit down and I think, oh man, I messed out. I should have listened to what he said, right? Like so, you wouldn't think of these small mediocre things, right? When you're down there compared to where you're up there, right? And I wouldn't say right now I am down there. I am like I would say I'm pretty much in the middle phase, right? I'm pretty established right now, right? But like you shouldn't really believe. Well, yeah, you should believe in obviously what other people say, since if like they're actually relevant and you actually want to learn from them, yeah, you should believe in them, right? But if people, for example, like aren't really aligned with what you want to do, then just don't listen to them, right? And this may sound harsh, just don't listen to them, right? Because think about it. Let's say that you sell water bottles, right? Would you listen to a farmer who only knows how to plant carrots and how to sell water bottles? Of course not, right? So why would you listen to someone who knows nothing about running a business and when to stop and when to do this, right? So main teacher, by the way, is just experience. You can try and rush things as much as possible. It won't work. It's all experience, but yeah, that's pretty much all the struggles I really had.
Okay. So you mentioned that your age was one of the, one of the big struggles that you faced. So let's say you got one of the clients, right? And I'm assuming that when after you get the clients, you have to get them on a sales call, discovery, and then trying to close them or other stuff. I'm assuming you go through that process, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Is it like is it through text or is it live?
Nah, it's all like if it's is it on a call or is it through text?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So is it like through text or is it just phone call or is it
Yeah,
Google Meet?
it's
What
like
is it?
it's how it is right now. It's like one-to-one video call like that. First time I
Video
did
call.
it, I was yeah. First time I did it, I was like I was really bad. I was shaking. My palms were
Yeah.
so sweaty. Genuinely, I just wanted to run away. Like the crazy part about this, right? This is kind of like you can call this like a superstition, right? But like when you're nervous about bad things happen to you, they will happen to you. Like that exact day, my internet miraculously just managed to cut off, right? And in the middle of that call, like I cut off. And then when I came back, the client said, "Yeah, I'm not interested anymore. Thank you for talking to me though." I was like really upset. I actually could not take it, right? And I was like, "All right, I just have to keep cold calling. I just have to wait till I get a new one." Right. So eventually over time I did build up that confidence. And also another thing I get is like my age. How people not like talk about my age, right? Like, nah, listen. This is for anyone out there who has any lingering doubts about not even about their age, like their voice, any insecurities that they may have about themselves, right? I've never been insecure about my age, right? Is if you have something really good, like something really good to offer, like we've been building this over months and months, by the way. It's not just like a week thing. Like we've been building it months and months and months over just because this exact reason, right? If you have something really good to offer, then people wouldn't care about, I don't know, your age. People wouldn't care about your voice. People wouldn't care about like your background. I don't know, right? Like people just don't care. If you have something good to offer, people don't care. They only care about what you can do for them. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. I feel like a lot of people, them hopping on their first meeting with a client and that internet thing, happening and the clients is just basically just leaving the call. I feel like a lot of
Yeah,
people would be demotivated and it would be pretty tough for them to recover from that. So how
yeah,
did
no,
you recover so quickly?
yeah, no. I've been through bigger fish, right? I've been through much bigger fish. Like my clothing brand, I remember my clothing brand when we were like publishing the website, right? Like I was working so hard on the website, like I was like doing all of that, like work. Like, I think it was 6 hours of work. And as soon as I posted it, like, as soon as I left my computer, right, I realized I didn't save it, and like, oh, I just went away, right? I was so pissed off. I was like, I have to keep going. Another thing, actually, this may not be related. No, it is related, right? Is back when I used to play video games, like a lot, right? I remember one time, like I used to grind so hard in this like video game, right? And I realized that like I was on like my wrong account. And after that, like I got really upset because it was like a account I would never use again. Like I got really upset, but you just got over it, right? And I think if you let them setbacks like that set you back, then don't even try going into the future, right? Like I've been through many problems. Like I started my editing agency, right? It was actually really good. It was going pretty well, right? I was on all on Discord. right, was we were getting so many guys coming in, right, that once we couldn't manage it anymore, since we we're just trying to go for quantity over quality, one guy was saying like, listen, this doesn't work. Like they don't pay you. Like they doesn't do any they don't do anything. Right. It took one bad guy and just all claps like, oh yeah, this guy's bad. And after that I had a problem trying to get people to actually join, trying people join back because like everyone's like, yeah, like, I had a bad reputation on Discord. Right. So yeah, I've been through bigger fish, right? And that client thing, I was working maybe around two meetings a week, right? So I knew I was going to get another one. It's such as life, man. And I'm probably going to face problems like that. You'll face problems like that in the future, and all you have to do is just keep going.
Damn, that's crazy. So you said that you've like if it's taking you about like 6 months to build up the agency to where it is right now, right?
Oh yeah, pretty much, yeah.
All right. Because I low-key do get a bit confused on like the entire process because I know like a lot of software like people, right? It takes them like months and months to create the product or the yeah, to essentially create the software and then to launch it. So like how does that process even work? So like for your first month, like were you just like designing and coding, same with the second month, same with the third month until you go to your sixth month and then you launched it, started cold calling clients, trying
Yeah,
to so how did that
yeah,
building process even work?
yeah. So started off cold calling. We cold called for nothing. This is like crazy like hustling, right? I don't think anyone else really does this, right? We were cold calling, and our plan is we were cold calling so much to book a meeting. And what we do is we'll book them into something free, like one of our like free communities. And in the meantime, where they pay for like beta access, we would actually start recording the videos and the video modules for the course, right? So they basically paid for us to start like on the course. And obviously it failed, number one, because we pretty much were neglecting these guys who were pretty much wasted their time to be fair. Like they had all in all righteousness they did have the right to leave. Right. But after that we said, yeah, okay. We built the course, we took around a month. After that month we considered launching it, and then we said, nah, we need the proper service. So we did like a bunch of market research. Some you could say was pretty low leverage, right? But what I can say though, right, is like especially when you're building an agency or building a business, like it usually just goes like this, and then it goes like that, right? It's just a matter of being in the right place in the right time. Like Jeff Bezos, he wouldn't be anywhere near successful as he is today. Like I'm not trying to downplay that guy's success. He's crazy successful and he deserves it since he has worked hard, right? But he wouldn't be anywhere near where he is right now if he didn't like figure out like the dot-com boom, right? Like he could have started anything else. It's just lucky that he started that, right? Or for example, if you look at PayPal, right? Like Elon Musk, I think he's a bit of a different example, right? But it's just lucky that he thought of that, right, during that time, right? And it's the same thing with kind of us. Like it's really good that we have thought of this at this time and decided to go all in on that, right? So I had a lot of catching up to do. I learned a bunch about like machine learning, things like that. Started building AI agents, like giving them to like some friends like that. And eventually, after building up, we started going to posting content, learning strategies, things like that. And yeah, it's pretty much we've just been kind of building behind the scenes like these few months.
Yeah, so like what is that building? Oh, okay, never mind. I understand it now. So when like do you guys run like marketing? Do you guys run any marketing or is it just all cold calling?
Marketing, like ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mainly right now we just get clients through their referrals and content, right? And one thing that I'm gonna say for anyone who does plan to cold calling or cold DMs, right? Think of it like this: how much your product probably cost? £1,000, let's say, $1,000, right? If you think the person that you call on a random Tuesday evening, right? If you think that person that you call on a random Tuesday evening, you managed to miraculously get him onto a meeting, and then you managed to miraculously get him to spend over $1,000, was probably more than what they made like in the past few days, right? And you expect them to treat you and be nice to you and actually expect some good results as much as the person who, for example, has watched your content, but has watched your ads many times over, knows that you can do it, knows that you're the guy. For example, if you're running landscaping, like that knows you're the guy from the landscaping, knows you're the guy for AI animation, knows you're the guy for marketing, right? Then you must be deluded. That's the thing with marketing. That's the thing why Meta makes so much money, right? It's not necessarily just about marketing, right? From an ad, this is what I say a lot to people, right? From an ad, if you see, for example, headphones, right, you probably just don't buy it the first time because you need to, but after over time, where you see, oh, this is from Apple, oh, the Apple is this, oh, there's more ads about Apple. It's all built up slowly, 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 right? Once again, it's like this, then it goes like that, right? And every purchase as well as impulse purchase, you have to remember that, right? These companies are trying to lure you into an impulse purchase, right? So these impulse purchases, the second you click buy, it's an impulse purchase, right? So these all of this weeks, months, even years that it takes to instill their brand in your head, right? And then it just turns into impulse purchase, right? So basically, what I would advise is if you're doing landscaping, post about landscaping, post why you have the best landscaping, post why your equipment is better than other guys' equipment, post why you know how long the grass takes to grow, something like that. Like just get really good at what you do. Get really good at what you do. Market it. If it's ads, content, just get into people's heads, and people will eventually buy. Like that's the slower route. That's the more tedious route. It takes longer, but it's much more worth it compared to just wasting your time trying to chase the butterflies. We heard the age old adage, right? You want to grow a garden, not chase butterflies. You're chasing the butterflies, and we're doing cold outreach.
I love that. I love that. I love that. It's kind of like what Alex Ramosi says: jab, 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 and then
Yeah,
right hook. So
yeah,
basically, keep giving and give and give and give. Basically, give them a reason. Just keep
yeah,
appearing, into their face. Like, don't show them just yet. Just keep showing up into their face. Show them why you are the best. Why they should
yeah,
work with you, and then
yeah,
you go for sure. I definitely agree with that.
yeah,
I think the reason why a lot of people really struggle when it comes to marketing, based on the concept that we are like the concept that you just mentioned right there. I think the reason why a lot of people really struggle is because they want that quick. They don't want to take the time to build up their brand. They don't want to be given that free value. They just want to go for the ad. Like they expect to just launch the ad and then they get clients. I think that's why a lot of people really struggle with that part, to be honest. What do you think?
yeah. No, I completely agree with you. Like I said, like Central C said it, you cannot rush greatness. You have to build things up. You cannot this is the main problem, right? You could probably have the best idea ever, right? But people just stop too soon. Genuinely, people just stop too soon. The number one, two main problems of success, two main problems, killers of success, right? Number one, you are too dumb. What's very, very, very unlikely. No one's really too dumb. Number two, you don't work enough, right? What a lot of people fall into this trap. And then number three, right? You don't work hard enough as well, but you don't work with speed, right? And you expect things to come, you expect things to come fast when you don't work fast yourself, right? Like, let's be realistic. A lot of people have this issue where they just extend things over days and days and days. Working out takes an error. One workout can make you feel much better for an entire day. People skip doing that. One reading could make you feel better. It takes 15 minutes, make you feel much better. Right? These small, small things add up, right? And once you're doing your work, you want to work with speed. All right, content. What should this content be for? What should free value be today? Right? I'm not saying you should be fast as in rushing things, but be fast as in giving value. Then you start posting. Yeah, big stuff, right? You shouldn't just be, trying to skip everything. You shouldn't just try and be leap over all the work you need to do, right? You need to take it step by step. And if you want to do those steps right, you need to be working it. You need to be having your mind in tip-top shape so you can work at optimal performance, right? And then you can get to where you want. That's just not how it works. You cannot take any shortcuts, especially when it comes to business.
Yeah, for sure. And going back to the topic of the marketing, right? When I asked, were you running any marketing? Because I checked out your, your YouTube channel and your Instagram channel, and I do see you talking about basically the jab, jab, jab. You are talking about essentially how the AI is going to be able to essentially help their business and how it could benefit them. So I kind of do see that. When do you think you are going to, I guess, do the because right now basically what you're doing is like you're giving that free value, right? So when are you gonna hit them with that offer, I guess?
Over. I mean, well, all it depends to be fair. Right? We were planning to start launching like full scale ads maybe around I would say October, November time, right? And the reason why we're taking such a slow approach to it, right, is we don't want to be that guy on the ad that you just see, right? Actually, this is a strategy that Iman Gadzhi does, if you know about him. I think everyone knows about him, right? You notice on his videos, you only get his ads. Only if you watch him, only if you watch him, you realize, and same with a bunch of other YouTubers, only on his videos, you see his ads. Why? Because he's trying to entice you into the second CT, a second call to action, right? And the reason why he does this is because if you're watching him already and he has millions of subscribers and millions, not millions, hundreds of videos, right? You already know that he's credible. You already know that he knows what he's doing. It's just a matter of time. So he's just trying to get the matter of time closer and closer and closer, right? So we're just trying to get established and as big as possible. So we're just trying to like build up as much as possible. We don't want to go. You don't want to be that guy that just pops up randomly on the app. We want to be that guy that says, "Okay, yeah, I see this guy before. I've seen this guy before, and now he's on an ad. That's pretty cool. That's what you want to happen. You don't want to just pop up randomly. That's the problem with a bunch of people, right? So the idea is with marketing, this is a secret, right? Don't look for new people that don't know about you. Build an audience and then market to those people and get them to know you more and more and more and more. That's how you get clients that you actually want to work with. You don't want to see that's why with cold calling as well, right? And reason why I say cold calling does work, I have to say, if you are persistent with it, right? With content, you can do a much bigger scale. 100 viewers. If that's all your ICP, ideal client profile, if you're a landscaper, people with long grass, if 100 people with long grass see your video every single day, right? And after a few weeks, like you cannot tell me that someone won't buy, right? You just need to post content, build yourself up, and then once you have a big audience, market to that audience. That's just how it's meant to roll. So yeah, we're planning to do that in October, November, around that time.
October, November. That's a couple months down the line. So I guess for the short time, for the short while or time, what are you gonna be doing, I guess?
Just posting content like we are, like just posting our YouTube videos, Instagram videos, TikTok videos, just building ourselves up, like how we expected. We just plan to go into the traditional path, post consistently. That's pretty
Mhm.
much just what we're going for.
Okay, so right now, is it just you in the company or
No, it's I mean my partner, like I said earlier on.
okay, so you and your partner, okay. Are you looking to start scaling up in the next couple of months, or is that maybe in the long term?
Yeah, okay, this is a difference, right? Scaling up doesn't mean neglecting your clients, first of all. I never said you said this, but it's just to clear things up in the air if anyone's watching this, right? Scaling up means improving what you have to make sure the client experience is better, therefore letting you to charge more. Not just getting more clients. That's not scaling up. That's getting more clients and ruining yourself, right? So we have some clients, yeah, trying to just build on that, then build up, right? And then we can charge more, then we can get more clients, we can charge more, get more clients. That's what we're planning to scale. So we're actively scaling, you could say, because we're actively improving. We're actively improving. I don't think you're just staying stagnant. If you're staying stagnant, you're either if you're staying stagnant, you're probably losing by any chance, right? You're either going up or going down. But not in business, but in life in general, right? So yeah, we can see that we're always scaling up every single day.
Okay, sorry. So what I meant to say is when are you gonna start hiring more people, I guess? Because right now it's just the two of you. When are you gonna
Yeah.
bring more people on board, I guess? That's what I meant to say.
I mean, yeah, we already have some people like lined up to do some service parts, right? But once again, it's about building a team culture. Me and Liam, right? We aren't just like business partners. We are like great friends, right? We talk to each other all the time, right? So to just bring in more guys is like a different thing, right? So yeah, maybe let's say like bring in another guy like within the next few days, next few weeks, build a good relationship with them, and then bring them into the business, and then we start going. Like, look at Telegram, for example, $34 billion company. I'm not sure if it's 17 billion, yeah, $34 billion company, right? Like 70 employees, 30, I think it was 70 employees, right? That's an extraordinarily low amount of people for that big of a company. One of the biggest companies in the world, and arguably the biggest in its field, right? You just need to build a culture. You need to build a good team. A good team creates good results, and good results create happy clients, and happy clients bring more results, right? That's what we plan to do. We don't plan to just get a bunch of guys and throw them into sales, throw them into here. No, we plan to actually build a team and scale everything up because me and Liam, we can do everything as someone that we hire can actually do. We'll only start hiring once we really cannot afford to do what with what they do, what the hiring guy does. We
Okay.
don't have the time
I
to.
want to, yeah, okay. I want to touch a bit on your client acquisition process. So currently, right now, you have the service, and right now you are running like organic ads, like the free will right there. You are running those organic ads, and when people message you, then that's when you get them onto a meeting, and that's when you do like essentially like a sales representative. You basically pitch to them like what your service is, how it's gonna benefit your business, and then you provide them the service. Is that like your process right there?
Hmm.
Do you do any discovery calls, or is it just the scan that they message you, you just get them on a sales meeting? Like do you do any
Yeah.
discovery calls, or do you just basically just pitch to them what your service is?
I mean, honestly, it all depends, right? Many people have different needs, right? But yeah, we pretty much just try to nurture them as much as possible. So if it means discovery calls, if the discovery calls, and we don't think need that, then we won't do that. But most of the time, it's we nurture them. So whether that's through just talking to them, things like that, we get them on a sales call, and bam, right? It shouldn't be a long process over weeks and weeks. That's how you get people to lose interest. Many people think that means yeah, they'll get more interested in me. It's the opposite. The more you stretch it out, the more they think about it, and the more they say, "Yeah, I don't know." So, yeah, we just try to make it as efficient and as quick as possible without obviously sacrificing how they would feel.
Okay, so currently right now, how long is the onboarding process?
So maybe around a few days. Like onboarding process is like an error max, because you already have all things set up. We just have obviously the consulting. What's like that's the main service, just consulting, building everything up. But the onboarding is just saying, "Do you want to work with us?" Yeah. Get them all set up with all the tools they need to set up, and then just chatting with them, consulting with them, see what we can do, and obviously just getting results from there.
Amazing. Right now, let's say someone was looking to start an agency, like something similar to yours, right? What is one piece of advice you have for that person?
Just honestly, like I said, just confidence, right? You can start anything. Have unshakable confidence. Genuinely believe in yourself. Don't act like you believe in yourself. Like, and also another thing I'm going to say is like work hard. Like you have to work hard. Like don't say I work hard, but a new video game came out. I work hard, but social media is getting updated. I work hard, but there's a new show coming out. Like now, work hard and stick to it and stay confident. That's what we need to do. Just obviously work hard on the right things. That's what we do. We really do. We make sure they working hard on the right things and making all the wrong things that they're doing is automated by AI, right? So just find something. There's so many things you can do, by the way. Like this is another thing I'm going to say. A bunch of people like have a problem. Like, what do you want to do? Like on the spot, I'm going to think. Right? You can use AI. Right? Let's look at the agricultural industry. Right? Let's look over there. Right? Like many people there, farmers need AI. Need AI to, for example, Nestle. like Nest between Nestle, the obviously the producers, not the producers, but the people who put it in the shelves, and the farmers, there has to be something in between. How about building like an AI service that connects these two parties, right? Just make it much, much, much better than anything else out there. That's one agency you can do. You can get a bunch of clients for that, connecting farmers to big companies. That's what you can do, right? There's so many things that you can do. It's just you just have to get started, right? And if you say I don't know what to do, I think it's just a form of laziness.
Okay. It looks like you are doing a lot, honestly. It looks like you have your schedule really packed. I'm really curious about your day-to-day life. Like what's your schedule like anyways? Like
Yeah, so first of all, start off the day. I wake up around 6, 7 a.m. And then after that, I just read, drink some water. And then what I like to do in the mornings is like get back end work done. So any like lingering things I had in the past, right? I just went to, for an hour, I just hammer my computer, get that done. After that, I get a really light breakfast. Also, guys, right? You should guys always feel a little bit hungry. Never feel fully full because then you start getting lethargic, right? Always feel a little bit hungry, right? So I always make sure I feel a little bit hungry, even though I do a lot of calories. I'm trying to obviously gain weight. So yeah, have a light meal. Then after that light meal, I like to just get some more work done, right? So whether that can be just recording like a short form video, that's what I did today. Then after that, I like to have a workout, and that's usually just compound lifts and obviously some MMA, like a little bit of this, right? And then after that, just the more work. Oh, that can be building AI animations, things like that, right? And then after all of that, I like for the last few hours of the day, all I really do is just look back, go on Twitter, get more ideas, write some things down, what I can do for like my first hour in the morning, like again, right? So that's pretty much like my system right now. Remember the last time I came on here, it was kind of it was a bit different. It was kind of all over the place. I was still 16 hours a day. That's pretty unrealistic. I mainly work maybe 6, 7, 8 hours a day. That's pretty much how much I really work. And you don't need to work crazy hours.
that's true. And can you provide like a timeline for right now? So you say you wake up at 6, 7 a.m. Then you get your breakfast. So can you provide like a timeline of what time you eat your breakfast and what time you start editing, what time you do
Mhm.
XYZ. Just provide like a timeline with all of those.
All right, so 7 a.m. wake up. I usually just get a little bit caffeine, like coffee, and like no, if you're doing consideration, moderation, caffeine does not affect you. It's all propaganda, guys. You need to have that energy, right? So I get some caffeine, or 7 a.m. After that, it's doing some like work, what I know, some like nitty gritty stuff, something that I would like want to like look at the start of the day. Like for example, if there's a new idea for a workflow, like a new idea for an AI automation. I'll look at that. I'll look at the pros and cons of that, what I can do to make that better, and note that down, and then I have my breakfast. After that, I work on my content so that have my breakfast light snack like a banana or something. Light snack around 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. Have that light snack. Get back to work. Content. And then that takes me up to maybe 11 a.m. 11 a.m. I work out until maybe 12:30. After 12:30, I just get a bunch of I get some automation work done. Then I do content. Then after that, that takes me all the way down to maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I take a short break. I obviously think some more ideas, and then I'll say I'll get some more automation work done. Obviously, that includes client work. Automation work is client work as well because I'm building automations. And then, but maybe like from around 5 a.m., not 5 p.m., to 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., right? Usually 6, 7 p.m. I take like sales calls, things like that. That's where I mainly take them. Look at the sales practices, sales calls. We look over what we can do better, right? And then after that, obviously, I just note down. I find some more ideas. So now it's around 8 p.m. And then around 11 p.m. is when I go to sleep. So after those 2 hours of just ideating, things like that, right? Like the last hour, I just maybe watch some YouTube and I go to sleep.
That's insane. That is insane, bro. Your day-to-day life is actually packed with work. Like,
Bro,
actually, so
you
like,
ease into it. You
yeah,
ease into
you don't watch like TV or anything like that? Like, you don't play games or,
No, what's it called? The bad habit I have is like I like to check my Instagram a lot. But apart from that, nah,
yeah,
I don't actually, right? I do play
yeah.
what's it called? I know it's a controversial take, right? But before I sleep, I do play FIFA. Like I have a FIFA mobile. I just play FIFA, like to get my ego up. I'm the best FIFA player. I just win like 4 matches in a row, then I go to sleep. That's the only time I really play games. But like when it's working, I'm working. When it's recording, I'm recording. It's not like I don't like to go in between. That's kind of ruining my day. I kind of like.
Makes sense, makes sense. So, for your workout, right? What is your workout? What is your workout like? Like, what do you do for your workouts?
Yeah, so I either go for a run, but I don't really do as much now because I'm trying to obviously gain weight, not trying to lose weight. I go for a run, work out, like so push-ups. I have some backpacks right there for my weights. I probably should invest in some real weights, right? But I have some backpacks, really heavy backpacks. I do compound lifts like a bicep curls, tricep pull downs, shoulder. Well, what's this one called?
Which one?
Oh, bro, I forgot what it's called.
Is it
Shoulder
like,
press.
is it like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. I think it's
you go
called
all the way
shoulder.
up or?
Yeah, yeah. I like to do that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty much. And then after like a workout, I like to do some stretches. Obviously, I like to do some more push-ups, right? And yeah, I like doing push-ups a lot. That's like the main thing I do. But obviously, I like to mix in squats. What I actually hate, I cannot stand leg day. I hate leg day. That's what I get done. Yeah, man. That's from a workout. It's pretty simple. I like to keep it simple. Don't need to complicate it. Just eat well, and you'll be good.
I say I like that. How much push-ups can you do?
How many push-ups?
Yeah,
Oh, I'd say maybe like good form, like 30. Good form, like 30,
yeah.
30, 25 to 30. I've only been like really focusing on working out like the past few weeks. I would say max, like working hard, like 26. 26 will be my max. Like actually like trying my best and doing perfect form.
So perfect form would be like 26, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's crazy. Um, wait, so what, so like right now, what grade are you in right now? And how old are you?
I'm pretty much still in eighth grade, but now moving into ninth grade. So yeah, I'm 13. I turned 14 in November. So yeah, you can see I'm actually ninth grade. Yeah, I'm in ninth grade. That is, that is, yeah, I think that's ninth year for the guys in the UK, ninth grade and the guys in the US. Yeah.
I see. And what was like, what do your class like? Actually, does your school even know about what you're doing right now? Like, do they
Well,
know?
that's a good question. Actually, that's like me getting flamed a lot. Like I take yeah, like I take business as a class, right? And every single time I'm targeted, not by my teacher necessarily, but because my friends keep talking to me, they keep asking, "Yo, Omar, like I'm starting like my reselling business. What should I sell?" Like they always talk to me, right? Some people do it out of mockery, trying to say like, "Oh, this guy has a business," and some guys again look for advice, right? But yeah, people do know, and I do get talked to a lot, and I do get like flamed a lot, right? I just always get like, hey, what about this? What about this? Right? They always just find something to talk to, but yeah, I do get talked to a lot about what I do.
Does any of your teachers know about what you do?
Actually, yeah, a few months ago, like one of my teachers found like my code calls, and she was like, "Oh, Omar, is this you?" And she said like, "Yeah, good work." And then another time, right? This is actually a crazy story. I'm going to tell you about it.
Yeah,
In November, for my clothing brand, this is like last year, not November, like a few years ago, this is last year, right? In November, I had my clothing brand still up. I didn't even use it, but my friends all knew me for it. I didn't know how to an agency, right? Like they just saw my clothing brand, right? And they were saying, "Oh, Omar," right? Like they just like we were doing, I think it was like make your own popcorn, make your own like popcorn brand. Right? Saying like, yeah, guys. So if you're an entrepreneur, right, and if you're an entrepreneur, and if you know how to make a website, and if you know how to, put products in a website, what would you sell? Right? And funnily enough, I knew how to do that like ages ago. And when I put it up on, and like obviously had it up on there for like a few months, right? My friends went on the website, right, and they kept going on it. Like I think it was 5 monitors just have a website, like just scrolled through their website out of like people a class of like 2019, right? And the teacher got on, they said, get off the website, right? And they all said, oh no, it's Omar's, it's Omar's, it's Omar's. And like for like the last like 10 minutes of the period, that's 10 to 20 minutes of the period, it was so awkward. She was saying like she was always staring at me. She was always saying like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So obviously you need to price your products right. Like she was just staring at me and I was getting targeted clearly. And it's not fun. That's why I always tried to I actually like
Yeah,
never talk about what I do in like school or anything like that. I always just try to keep it low key because I don't like getting. I'm not really like. I could say I'm pretty introverted. I don't really like to get that much attention in real life.
yeah, that definitely makes sense. Are you taking like any business classes in school or?
Yeah, in business classes. Yeah, I do business classes. But I won't say it really benefits me. I mean, no, I'm not gonna say this in an arrogant way, right? But genuinely, like I said, nothing more about teaching you about business. Like nothing's going to teach you more about business than just running a business yourself. Like no amount of textbooks or this is what happened in 2019 with this business. This going to teach you about running a business apart from running a business yourself. Right? Like as soon as you go out into the streets, for example, if you're doing lawn mowing, as soon as you go out to the streets, that first knock on the door, they're at first knock on the door, and when they say no, that's your first taste of real life. That's when you know, oh yeah, it's not as easy as it seems. It's not just create a market, like market, go to a market, look at a market, create a product, and then go make money. You have to go through a lot, right? But obviously, yeah, it does help many people, I would say. Yeah, I do go to a business class. It does help many people, but at the stage where I am at right now, like I do take business class, and I mainly just take it just because I think it's much more easier for me to do rather than something like I don't know chemistry, right? So I just take that. I find it really well. I do it pretty good in it, and yeah, I just like to I think the best way to go about it, especially in school, if you're still in school and if you are running a business, is go for things that don't take up as much energy as you would think, right? Because you need that mental energy, like for posting content. You need that mental energy for building automations. So yeah.
I see. Wait, so what classes are you taking right now in school?
Oh, just typical science, physics, chemistry. Oh, the typical like I have to take one language, so French, English, or math. Yeah, pretty much it. And then I think I take PE. Well, yeah, I take PE, but like I'm not really the best at it because like I have like horrible stamina. Like I'm really strong, right? I have to admit I am pretty strong, right? But I used to have like bad stamina, so I'm not really the best at PE, but that's all I pretty much take. But I do that a bunch of times a week.
I see. That's really interesting because here in Canada, right, from grade 7 to grade 9, you don't actually get to choose your classes. They are essentially assigned to you. So you're going to be
Uh,
taking like the core classes like English,
Wait, sorry.
science.
Let me clear this up, right? I only pick my
Mhm.
classes for the last like 2 weeks because we go to New Year earlier. We go to New Year early when we're in the UK, right? So before weeks before we transfer into grade nine, I was doing grade nine stuff, but I was still in grade eight, right? So only grade nine we actually get to pick, but in grade eight, in grade seven, we cannot pick.
I see. I see. That makes sense now. That's really interesting, seriously. And you also get to take business class in grade 9. That's crazy. Because
You
for
cannot do
us, right,
that.
we don't, what?
You can't do that.
No, we can't. No, no. We only get to you can only take business once you get into college.
Oh, so that,
Yeah.
that that's even worse. Then they're like,
I
yeah,
know.
no, that's not them.
Yeah, for Canada here, right? Typically for high school, you're gonna take like the four normal classes and you can take a couple option classes, but there isn't really any business classes, honestly. It's just ceramics, gym, guitar. I don't know, just the most stupidest things, bro.
Well, I've always thought
That was
Canada
so
was like a
stupid.
really, I've always thought like Canada and like North America was a really strange place. Maybe just because I'm from the UK, right? But like
Yeah,
I've heard like crazy stuff about Canada and the UK. Like I'm not sure if I want to go to Canada one day. Like I might go to Toronto or Ottawa, but like I don't know. It's just seems like a crazy place. I cannot lie.
yeah. If you're gonna come to Canada, definitely go to like Toronto, like or Ottawa, just like you said right there, or Ontario. But apart from that, yeah, Canada is not it's not it, bro. The only good places in Canada is like Toronto and Ontario. I think those are the. Oh, I mean Vancouver. I think those are like the
Yeah,
only good places here, honestly. Yeah, for
isn't it
sure.
true that like
Mhm.
5% of the land in Canada is like 70% of the people live there, and like 5% of the land like in really small areas compared to like the big area, like only like a few people live there. The other 30% are like are in like the big big chunks of just ice and all that.
Well, so like, what's your question? What's your question? Like, just
Like, is it true that it only like or like I think it was like three cities, right, takes up 70% of the population? Like the other like part is just like emptiness.
oh, I see what you mean. Um, I'm not too sure because like we don't really focus on yeah, to be honest, I'm not really too sure about that because we have like these like large provinces. I'm not even sure if there's like people actually living there, honestly. I think it might
Yeah,
just be
so
land. I think it might
well,
just be land,
that's what
honestly.
I'm saying, bro. Like, it's just
Yeah,
empty. I don't know, bro. Because I feel like I can just
yeah,
like, I feel like I have this fear, like I can just like drop off there. Like I just don't know where I am. There's like no
yeah,
one there. That's why I live in like compact places. Like for example, the UAE. Like there's every corner of that place is pretty much people are populated there. Like maybe like some
yeah.
like desert areas, but like it's not a big of a country. You don't have to worry. But like Canada, that's like one
Mm,
of the biggest countries. It's just nothingness there, bro. That's kind of I don't know, bro. I might go to Canada one day, but it's just like I don't know. It just
yeah.
seems a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and yeah, so in Canada here we have like a lot of space. Honestly, it's not like as crowded as the UK because I came to the UK last year for vacation and to visit the family. It was definitely really really packed. We were just driving across the street and so much traffic, bro. It was so much traffic. Yeah, definitely the UK is
That's very
like
busy.
really really packed. Definitely really packed. But yeah, let's say you have to start over from September, right? With all the memory and all the, experience that you had right now, and you have to, start over from September. How would you get to where you are right now? What would be like your process to getting back to where you are right now if you have to start all over again?
First of all, don't be arrogant. You need to get mindset. Don't be arrogant. We all have to learn. First of all, you don't be arrogant. You need to learn, right? Second of all, believe in yourself. Actually believe you can do it. Third of all, be willing to work hard. And then after that, I would go straight away into learning a really high value skill. I know it sounds really cliche, but genuinely, right? Like find a high value skill. Find a skill that's needed actually. Find something that's needed, like land cut, like grass cutting. Like that's an example. I keep saying that a lot, but it's like grass cutting, right? People that play football in the back garden, right? Grass cutting. Find the skill, and then after you perfect it, after a few weeks, learn how you can use AI in that skill and then just scale from there. Really, it can work on anything. Coaching, you get good at coaching. Use AI in your coaching. Selling cups, you get good at selling cups. Use an AI store to sell cups like that. You just have to get a skill, use AI to make it better, and just scale from there. That's all you really have to do. And it's so easy, especially in 2025, that I feel like in 2028 that gate's going to be closed. Like all that easiness is just going to be closed because there's going to be AI pretty much all over the place, and it's going to be the barrier to entry is going to go from here to here, right? And it's going to be a massive separation between people who are successful and people who aren't. So I recommend just getting in as soon as possible.
So if you had to start over, the first thing that you would do is you would learn a high value skill, and then you would look into how you could leverage AI to help automate that too, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
I see. I see. And what's your mindset like when you are hopping on one of these client meetings? Because I know
What do you
for
mean?
me, right, when I'm like when I was doing so a couple months ago I was working with like a real estate technology company. I was like the sales representative. I would, call our clients, get the client on call, do the discovery, pitch it on the service, and then, get your card, credit cards, bills, and all that stuff, right? But when I'm like, every single time I'm popping on one of these calls, my mindset always changes. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, I
like
get that.
before the calls, I'm just like, but like, what? Like the second that I pick up the phone, I'm just like I'm just locked in. So like, what is your
Yeah,
mindset like?
that's the gonna be. That's the gonna be because you know there's something. There are some consequences to your action. Most of the time, you don't have consequences to your actions. Like you can sleep in. Like but now what? What are you gonna do? Like bite yourself. You can't really do anything. You just sleep in, right? But like on a client meeting, if you messed up, you lose money. You lose credibility. You lose trust. So yeah, you have. I think it's just pressure that changes it, right? But my mentality just you have to remember that you're the expert. You may not feel like it, but you like the reason why they have paid you this amount of money is because you do have a skill set that is valuable, right? And then you just obviously you just provide the best services possible and you feel it and wake up every okay, it's a separate topic, right? But always like wake up every day and like say that you're that guy. Say that, oh yes, I am that person. I am the person who provides the best results. I'm the person who works out every day. I'm the person who respects everyone, and I'm the person who helps old lady cross the street, right? Like, say that you are that guy. I don't like many people can't even recall last time they said, "Oh yeah, I am strong, I am smart, I am intelligent." Right? Like a lot of people like to downplay themselves for absolutely no reason, like to be so negative, right? Just have to believe in yourself and say that, okay, I am that guy, I am that man, right? And if I'm going to be automating businesses, I might as well be the best at it. If I'm going to be cutting grass, I might as well be the best at it. If I'm going to be selling cups, I might as well be the best at it. That's how you should really be going through these types of stuff.
Yeah. And guys, I'm not sure if some of you guys even noticed what he said right there, but he said something really important right there. Because right now, like, let's say you were trying to get into any business, right? Or like, let's say you had like a specific service, right? Look for ways that you could try to implement AI into whatever service that you are doing, and that will instantly explode the outcome of what you're going to be getting. So really, really, look into that. Because that was really powerful, the thing that you said right there.
Yeah, that's exactly what you should be doing. People like to another thing people like to say, right, is that they like to say, "Oh, well, I don't know how AI works." And then once you learn how and then once you learn how AI works, right, you're like, "Oh, I don't know what if that AI doesn't work? What do I do then?" Right? Like so many people like to waste so much time acting to feel ready, right? But the best time to be ready is just by starting, just taking action, right? And like I said earlier on, if in business, right, the best way is just to ease into it, right? Because if you knew everything what it took about running a business, if I knew back then, like when I started my clothing brand, right, like everything it took to run a business, I wouldn't be anywhere near to where I am today because I'd give up because I'd say it's too hard and like, oh, it's too complicated, right? You need to ease yourself into these things because greatness can't be rushed. You just have to take your time. It does take long, right? And think about it. It's another way to think about it. If you're young, if you're below 25, that's young. Even below 30, that's young, right? Once you become successful, max cream of the crop time taken. That takes how long? 6 years, 7 years, right? 10 years, like maximum, absolute maximum. What you're gonna do for the rest of your life, right? You have to think like that, right? You have to have a long-term plan. Obviously, don't think so far ahead. Don't take action, but like always remember that there's more to your life that you have to do, right? And a lot of people get caught up saying like, "Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just gonna be too long. It's only a few years of your life, man. You need to obviously have that will to just work harder, take your time, build things up. Because who are you rushing? Why are you trying to rush stuff? Why can't it be like long and hard? It doesn't have to be short and easy, right? You have to obviously, get experiences. You have to obviously build a mindset, right? Another thing I'm going to go on to, right, is crypto. With crypto, gambling, right? These types of stuff, like the crypto is gambling. You can't change your mind, right? No matter how much you try, it's calculated gambling. You can't change your mind about that, right? If you get successful, like if you make like 100K, like you're going to be nowhere near as intelligent and wise and strong as a person starting an agency from scratch, got to 10K, plummeted, got to 20K, learned, then failed, then got to 50K, learned, and then learned, then failed, all the way back down again, then went all the way back up. You're not gonna have the lessons, the mentality, the mindset, the strength. You're not gonna have any of that, right? And that's why I hate people who just try to rush things, right? Because if you want to rush things, you want to make quick money, that's good for you, right? But I want to stay in there for the game. I want to stay there for the mentality, for the building process. I like the process, unlike the results. You need to have that mentality as well, right? So I think just the lessons that come along with working hard, lessons that come along with starting, that's what really makes it matter. You cannot just try rush things.
I definitely agree with what you said right there. There was a question from the last person that I interviewed. His name is Imran, and his question was, if you could rebuild everything from. Actually, I already asked you that question. I just noticed. Essentially, his
Mhm.
question was, if you could rebuild everything from scratch and you have to start from zero, what would you do? That was his question.
Same thing I was saying earlier. And honestly, another thing I would say, right, is even if with the knowledge I started like how I am today, right, it just wouldn't be the same, right? Because I would still probably learn something new. It's all you're always going to fail. Like if people ask that question, I would probably didn't mean to say it like this, right? People ask that question, like, oh, what if we didn't fail? That's another question because failing is part of winning, right? There's no winning without failing. There's no broke without rich. No, there's no rich without broke, right? You have to be that. There's no light without dark. You have to have that contrast, right? So obviously you're going to have to fail. Either way, same thing. I would say, build a really good service, a really good valuable skill you can have, or even just a good product. Learn how to use AI in that product or that service. Obviously get clients, improve, get clients, improve, hire, build, get clients. It's just how it works. You build up and up and up, and and if you do that with conviction, with you believe in yourself, and you not skipping a day, and you actually genuinely trying your best, then it's going to be really hard for you to actually fail and not get what you want.
For sure. Honestly, I think we touched on everything, honestly. We touched on business, we touched
Yeah.
on education, we touched on fitness. I'm pretty sure we touched on everything. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, actually, yeah, I want to talk about this, right? It's something I've been meaning to talk about, right? Like,
Hmm.
what do you think about the people that, what do you think about the people that just like constantly like are too scared to try? I'm gonna ask you a question because you've I mean asking me questions, right? Like, what would you say to the person that's just been too scared to try, doesn't really, know what to do, right? Like they just feel kind of lost. But like, what's that one thing that you would tell them to do? Like, you tell me what you would do, and I'll tell you what I would do.
If a person is lost and they pretty much have no idea what to do, I'm assuming in terms of business, right? Like they're thinking about what
Just
to.
just just in life, right? Like they've lost their kids. Oh, I wouldn't say like they have a job yet. They're maybe like 16. They don't
Mhm.
have anything. They're from absolute rock bottom zero. What would you tell them to do?
So I would tell them to, because everyone is good at something, like no one is born in this world, they're being good at anything. So I would tell them to try to find something that they are good at and just focus on, I guess, building the skill sets. Because once you are, naturally, first, I'll tell them to, go to the gym, I guess, work on themselves, focus on fitness, try to, build up
Yeah, yeah,
themselves in case, like, like let's say they're fat or something like that, right? Like, I'll tell them to, focus on their physique, try to get in shape. Once they are able to do that, look into what skills you actually have, like something that you are good at, and focus on building up that skill sets and trading that skills for money And once you have a bit of income flowing in while working on your body, because like when you are working on yourself, right, you're gonna naturally feel like you are that guy. You're gonna feel good. It doesn't matter if you're like, it doesn't matter if you're depressed. You're gonna start feeling, a bit better about yourself because you're like, yo, like, I'm going out there, I'm working hard, bro. While all these guys out there, they're sleeping, like I'm waking up at like, 6 a.m. in the morning, 5 a.m. in the morning, while everyone out there is like sleeping. I'm out here, I'm grinding. I'm that guy for real, Like there's no way you're gonna feel bad, once you start working on yourself. And once you actually have income flowing in, you're gonna feel like, wow, life is actually not that bad. And from there, you just have to stay consistent and try not to go below. I guess try not to stop. I guess just stay consistent and just keep going what it does. Like I guess my advice, that's gonna be my advice for them. Well, I'm interested in what you would tell them. What would you tell them?
Yeah, so one piece of advice, this is advice I'm gonna tell you what I actually would tell them, right? Is you will always be better than the person who just doesn't try. Right? Like if you're like horrendously bad, let's say at sales, right? You are still doing much more than a person who's scared to start. If you're a really slow runner, if you're really bad at running, you're still much better than a person who's too scared to start. If you're really bad at, I don't know, like building houses or like just building stuff in general, like building software, like you're still much better than the person who isn't trying. Right? A lot of people quit because they think they're too bad, right? But everyone has ups and downs, right? All you can do is try your best. Like me personally, I'm a very slow runner. I'm a very slow runner. I'm not the best at running, but I run either. I run anyways. Why? Because I know I'm better than the person who stays in his sleeps, right? What I'll tell you to do first of all is to get into shape. Months and months, actually. Start of 2024, right? I was really fat. I was like 71 kilograms, I think, 70 kilograms, right? I wanted to get fit. I wanted to like, all right, right. I got pissed off because I performed really bad in the running test. I got like, I think around 8 meters, and I think it was 7 minutes, 800 meters in 7 minutes. It was actually really like, horrendously bad, right? I got so pissed off that for like 2 months, I just worked out. I ate well. I lost like 20 kilograms within like 2 months, like 9 weeks, I think. 20 kilograms in 9 weeks. I lost that. And then immediately I feel much better with myself. You need to actually work on yourself, right? First of all, is confidence. You build confidence by taking action. If you wake up and you realize that you've lost a bunch of weight, or you, for example, gained muscle, like you said, like getting fit, right? You're going to be much, much better than when you were overweight or like overwhelmingly just unfit, right? You just need to you need to get confidence in yourself, and that's through becoming fit. Second of all, learn a high income skill. Not high income, I would say high value, because we still can be high income, but that's not really high value because you just focus on like the best products to find. That's not really high value, right? So high value skill, right? High value skill, like let's just say lawn mowing. Get good at lawn mowing, build some clients, make some money, get a steady flow of income. Once you're making some money, once you're getting some clients, you learn to use AI. And with AI, use AI in a way that you are saving time, that you are making things more efficient, or sacrificing the quality of what you're doing. Right. And this by the way is like over weeks and weeks, months and months. Don't try to rush it, start off, right? You can start a business whilst working out. My point is just like don't start rushing it because you won't get anywhere near to you won't get anywhere near to where you expect if you just try to rush greatness, right? You add AI into your service, and once you add AI into your service, you just start scaling from there. Like so, if you're doing one one, how about you build AI booking bot, like I said, like my AI sales bot, right? Or even you build an AI content workflow, something that will help you gain more marketing, or even like a follow-up agent that will follow up with your clients, things like that, send them emails. Put them into like automated schedules that say, all right, this person within 2 weeks needs their grass cut, right? Or like you have this interview for this new apprentice who wants to start lawn mowing, right, in a week, right? Like, just build something up, keep building up. I'm not saying it'll be fast, no, it'll be easy, right? But it will be so much worth it, right? Many people try to act like many people just try to rush things. I think that's a really big problem, right? And I think you wouldn't enjoy the thing anywhere near as much. And when you if you got it and you didn't work hard for it, like I said about the crypto example, right? You could earn a bunch of money in crypto and won't feel anywhere near as rewarding as building a business, right? And making that first 100K rather than you just got 100K from a rug pull, right? Like obviously crypto is hard, but it's like I'm not against crypto. Obviously, people in crypto are successful, are obviously smart in their own rights, but it's still nowhere near the same as like building up a business, building up an e-commerce store, or building up an agency and just working hard and getting the results. And after you get to where you want to be, whether that's 10K a month, 50K a month, 100K a month, a million a month, how much you want, right? You get what you want. And the lessons you learn along the way and the strength you get and the mentality switch you get is all that matters. And I think that's what I really need to like build like a really good life and build a happy life. It's just like working hard, staying consistent, and feeling like you're that, and waking up and saying like you're an absolute man and you're that guy and you can do all that stuff.
I see. You when you were talking about the cutting grass, you talked about building an AI for that, and you make it sound like building an AI is really simple. So how do you really build an
No,
AI?
it's all right. So it's not as simple as I make it, but it's obviously as well as not as hard as I make it. The hard part is like knowing when to do it, knowing how to do it, and knowing when to do it without sacrificing results, without sacrificing quality, right? That's why AI automation businesses are so good, like are so useful, even though there are tools out there that build, even though like there's tools out there like Cursor that can build AI workflows, it's nowhere near as good. So like, for example, let's just say this, right? Artists, right? Artists, when like the really good equipment came out, right? Like a bunch of people just said, yeah, never mind, I'll make my own art now. There's good equipment, right? But what happened was more art equipment got sold to artists, and artists got paid more, right? With web designers, right? When Wix came out, people were saying, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to make my own website. I'm just going to build what I want," right? But what happened was web designers learned how to use Wix, and then the web design market increased. Same with AI automation, same with a bunch of stuff, right? So yes, it's not as hard as it seems. You may think you'll be able to do it yourself, but you just can't. It's just not going to be anywhere near close, right? It's just not going to be. It's just going to be really low leverage. That's why it's really important just to make sure, just to know when it's time to get someone to do it.
You see, and before you talked about high value and high income. So what is the difference between those two?
High value is something that can be like that can go on for a long time. People actually need it for a long time. Like crypto, that's a high income skill, sure, right? But like crypto, the market that fluctuates. It can go high, high, high. It can go low, low, low. It can go pew, pew. Like, come on, like that's not really. You cannot compare like getting really good at crypto compared to becoming the best salesperson in the world. We can both agree that that's two different things. So I would say high income is like reselling like these quick money get rich things, reselling or even scamming. I don't know who would actually scam. That's actually kind of messed up, but scamming is one as well, right? Or crypto. These are like really short-term skills, right? But if you want to get big, if you want to grow big, if you want to actually become, if you want to become a real, I'm not trying to look down on the crypto guys. People who have gone big in crypto, they deserve it because it is a hard thing, but you also can get really rich from it really quick. What kind of ruins everything, right? Ruins your perspective, right? Like for example, actually, like have you heard that story of like those teenagers that sold $238 million and like they just blew it all in crypto?
The teenagers that no, I didn't hear about that.
Oh my goodness! Like there were some teenagers that hacked, like I think it was Binance, right? And like they just stole like $238 million in crypto by acting like they were like some sort of support, like trying to help out, like manage their funds, right? And they're a perfect example. Within like a few months, you all blew it. Why? Because they didn't have the mentality, they didn't have the lessons they learned from failing, getting better, failing, getting better, failing, failing even more, failing, then getting much, much better. Like they didn't have that lesson, they didn't have those lessons, right? And that's why they crashed. Like if like obviously that's life changing money, you could pretty much live your life completely fine for the rest of your life, right? But they weren't thinking like that. They were thinking like, oh, I got this quick money, probably get this quick money again. I don't need to worry anymore. Like that's when people mess up. So high value, high income. High income is usually high value. It can be high value as well, but high income can be mixed up with crypto and scam and things of that sort, right? So let's say high value because high value guarantees that's actually like something that's scalable and something that's buildable. It just filters that small percent of it out.
Okay, so just to clarify, high income is ways that you can make money really quick. For an example, crypto, having people, and those
Yeah,
so things that don't really require actual skills, those will
yeah,
be considered high income. And high value is
yeah,
essentially you learning a skill and providing it to the market. So, for example, you learn this like you being really good at sales to where you are able to represent any company's products to a client. That could be considered high value. Is that right?
yeah. But obviously, high income can get mixed. Obviously, like the high value stuff falls under high income, but like there's high income quick, right? So just to filter that out, it's better to say, high value. It's like for example in food, right? You wouldn't just say eat food to get healthy. Food can be ice cream. Food can be chocolate. You have to see you need to eat healthy food. So it's kind of the same scenario here.
Okay, because I think a lot of people can definitely get this a bit mixed up because I know for trading, right, there are a lot of people that actually do a lot of research to build up
Yeah.
those skills to be able to, make millions of dollars from trading. So
Yeah.
I think for those people, I think they actually do learn a high value skill that they are able to incorporate into,
Yeah,
Bitcoin
of
and
course.
like trading and all this stuff.
Yeah, of course. I'm not. That's why I'm saying, right? Like crypto isn't necessarily like all bad. Crypto's actually a really good thing. It's actually like changing the world, right? Crypto, stocks, trading. It's a miracle invention, right? But it's a small percent of people that scam, they rug pull, they steal people's money. That's what I'm talking about, right? I'm not talking about the guys who actually learn strategies and build stuff off and have like things that that are guaranteed not to lose this amount of money a month. Like getting good at trading, getting good at anything, it all takes time, right? And you can't rush any of that stuff. But what you can rush is going down the route of just getting quick money. And that's what I'm trying to filter out. So that's what I say high value. Like trading, high value skill. It may not be valuable to other people, but it's surely valuable to you and valuable to you to make money, right? So just obviously just build something that lasts. That's the main point of high value skill.
Okay. And let's do a real life example when it comes to the AI automation. So, yeah, later today, I'm gonna be doing like an onboarding meeting with an AI company. Essentially, they target real estate agents, healthcare, lawyers. So I'm gonna be doing like an onboarding meeting with them. Basically, my role is gonna be basically bring them clients. So I'm probably have to search through the internet, find real estate agents or people in the healthcare
Yeah,
owners, lawyers. I have to find them, reach out to them, hop on a sales call with them, and probably
yeah.
do a bit of discovery, pitch them, and then get them on the product. So how would you automate that process?
Yeah, so there's a tool called Firecrawl AI. What it does is that automatically scrapes the internet, like Perplexity, but it's like you're the one who's running it, not Perplexity running it, right? So basically, what I would do is set up an automation. Firecrawl runs, so it scrapes the whole internet from real estate agents, and then obviously ChatGPT. Use like a big model. Use a good model, like 4.0, not 4 already. Like use an actually good model, ChatGPT. Filter out the not the ones you don't want to work with, put that into a spreadsheet, right? And then what you can do is you could try find patterns. This is what Palantir does, and it's really useful for a military, right? You could try find patterns, right? And well, I want you to like look through all of them, like add a tick next to the ones that you think are good, the good prospects that you think are good. Add an X to the ones you think are bad, right? And eventually, obviously ask some descriptions of the client as well. Like try to do your research. I mean, do your due diligence. I mean, right? And then use AI once again. Use ChatGPT or Claude. I think Claude is better for this, right? To notice the patterns. Notice what someone with a tick would have. Notice what someone with an X would have, and then refine that to a Firecrawl. And no, refine that to ChatGPT, the one that filters out all the real estate agents, and then you can start getting better leads and better leads and better leads. Then once you do that, right? I mean, obviously, like I said, I'm against cold outreach, but if you can do things like SMS campaigns or email campaigns, that can work as well. But it's just not as effective, I would say. So I think what you can do with those leads is you can show them to obviously the client, you can show them to your client, right? You can say, like, this is what I came up with. These are actually your ideal client compared to your company's data and the market out there, right? Whenever you come up with a strategy to address a bunch of these guys, we could address a bunch of these guys, right? And yeah, create a strategy to address a bunch of these guys with minimum input and maximum output, right? Code calling, minimum input and minimum output, right? But content, it's minimum input, and you can talk to a bunch of people. Code calling, you're guaranteed to talk to one person. Content, you can reach thousands of people. And I mean, that sounds like a lot, like only 2K people, right? But that's like 2K real estate agents. You get what I mean? That's what I would mainly use AI for. Like many people think, oh, I need to make AI generated content. Like you need to think of strategy. That's where we come in. That's what you need to be doing. And also with that, right? Like
Yeah.
what you should I think the best thing you can do is like kind of be like a marketing agency, right? Look at the market, use Firecrawl, use AI smartly, right? To look at the market, look at her needs, look at what she has to offer, look at a market's offer, and try create a bridge between her and the market, and then you should get paid for some of that. And then you're gonna make a bunch of money. That's what you should do.
All right, so look at the markets and look at her solution and try to create a bridge
Yeah, and
for
use
them.
AI in the process as well, and then just provide content, things like that, and you're gonna be a good man. I know it sounds like I know it sounds like a bit I know it sounds like a little bit weird right now, right? But like that's actually all you need, because like if she knew exactly what she wanted and then she knew like what the market actually had, then she would have what she want and she wouldn't need you, right? So you just need to find the exact pinpoint needle in the haystack, find that needle, right? Find exactly what she wants, exactly what the market has. Find the two groups, right? Create that bridge, where that be content, what I highly recommend. Create that bridge of content or even paid ads, but I still recommend content, organic content, right? Create that bridge, and then eventually, once she one wood plank at a time, right? Each plank can be each video, right? And eventually that plank would be filling up the whole bridge, and then we'll just be bringing in a bunch of clients for her. May take a few weeks, may take a few months, but it will work. That's what you should do. And that's for marketing agencies, by the way, if you want to actually do something like that.
Okay. Okay, yeah, there's definitely gonna be a collaboration between you two soon, honestly. But I think I kind of get the process right here. So I'm gonna use like the app that you said right there, and I'm gonna scrape the leads from the internet, and I'm probably gonna cold call them, initially, and basically I'm gonna be cold calling them for the first couple of, I guess, for the beginning stages. But my main thing is going to be like that marketing right there. Essentially, that job, creating that free value and posting it online in order to get like warm leads. And from those warm leads, then that's what I'm going to be doing. Like that, I'm going to get them on the discovery call and essentially fishing them. But for the
Mm.
initial stages, I think I'll just go with a cold call for now. While on the back end, running some
Yeah.
marketing like organic marketing, providing that free value,
I
before I
personally
give
think
them
we
the
should
job.
go for I think we should just go for marketing, bro. Because I think with code
Yeah,
calls, you're talking to one person, you're talking to one person, plus you're trading your time basically for your money, right? If you're talking to one person, you're guaranteed to reach one person. If you record a video once, you can reach thousands. And with a video, you will be able to tell your full service in 10 minutes with a code call, right? But you can record a 10-minute video and then you can post it to YouTube. You can record like some short clips for Instagram, and you see what I'm saying, right?
yeah,
I think because it's low investment, high return. Code called medium investment. You get exactly what you put in, but social media, you put in a small amount, you can get big amounts. That's what's the beauty of it. And you also, like I said, you build the planks. Code calling, probably won't see them again. It's kind of you're going to just burn out. It's just that's just what I have to say.
I see. Definitely. Well, this was a hell of a podcast, honestly. Like we went hella deep, deep, deep. I think this
Yeah.
has to be my longest pod so far. It was
Yeah,
packed
but
with value to a lot of
what
things,
is it like?
honestly.
What is it like? An hour 40 minutes, an hour 55 minutes. Around that
I think
time.
it was like I think it should be hour 50, I think. Close to 2 hours, basically, close to 2 hours.
Yeah, close to hours, yeah. But it's gonna be a good one. Whoever is watching this, right? Gotta
Yeah,
actually like, note this in. This is like free, this is value right here. Like if I was
I
starting
know.
off, I'd pay 1,000 for this.
I know this was insane, bro. Seriously. Yo, Omar, bro, I really appreciate you for, hopping on this podcast. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so my YouTube should be linked in the description of this video. I mainly post on YouTube on Instagram, on YouTube, it's Omar Rajab official. And I post about AI. And then on Instagram, it's Omar Rajab official as well. I also post about AI.
Perfect, guys. Check the description. All the links are gonna be there. Yeah, amazing podcast.